All right, today we are taking a look at solving equations, word problems, and classifying polynomials. So we're going to get right into it. So multi-step equations, if you remember, are where you're solving an equation with multiple steps. Remember, the first thing we're going to try to do is the PEMDAS, so the parentheses. If we have a number in front, we want to distribute. We want to take care of everything inside the parentheses first. Then we're going to look to combine like terms. We're going to look to get the numbers on one side, the variables on the other, and then isolate the variable to solve our problem. So what I have you guys do is work on doing numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Or just try number 1 first, and then unpause it, take a look at the solution, you're good to go. You can keep moving here, all right? So try number 1, ready, go. So hopefully you guys came up with an answer of 6. So remember, we're adding the 9 to both sides, dividing out by -3, and then getting our solution. We are going to talk about using nsolve to check our answers. So we can do this. So let me just get the calculator up here and then we'll take a look. So from the calculator screen, we're going to go ahead and open up a calculator page. We're going to go to Menu, Algebra, and the first option is Numerical Solve, which we're going to choose. And then we're going to type in our equation. So -3x minus 9 equals -27. So -3x minus 9 equals -27. We have to put a comma and then the variable down, which is x, and we'll get our answer back, which is 6. So there's our check, okay? So that's nsolve. Do the same thing for number 2, so go ahead and try it. We'll come back to normal. If you need a refresher, keep in mind that one way we solved this in class was to get common denominators for everything and then drop the denominator. So if that helps you. Okay, so we finished up with this one. So the first thing we did was we multiplied the first fraction and by 2, then 4. We kept the third one the same, and then times 4 for the last one. So we ended up with 6 over 8d minus 4/8 equals 3 over 8 plus 4 over 8d. And then we dropped the 8 out from all the denominators and got 6d minus 4 equals 3 plus 4d. And then we moved the 4d over, added the 4, and we ended up with d equals 3.5. So if you do check it, we type it in with the d's, comma, d there for our nsolve, and we do get 3.5, and we're good to go. Okay, go ahead and try number 3. Okay, you should have gotten -9. So once again, we're adding the 9b over, subtracting the 48, and then dividing out by the 6 to get -9. And we went ahead and go ahead and check it in nsolve, and you can see we get the same answer. So type in the equation, comma b, and we end up with -9. All right, moving on to number 4. Go ahead and try that one. Okay, you should have got an answer of 2. So once again, we're going to put the 1 in front here. So distribute the -1 through to switch the signs. So 5 minus m plus 4. And then 2m, distribute the 3 through. Combine like terms. We're going to add that m over to keep it positive. So add the 3 over to get 12, and then m equals 2. We went ahead and check it in nsolve, and you can see we get the same thing. And we're good to go. All right, number 5, go ahead and try that one next. All right, and for this one, we end up getting no solution. So when we solve, we distribute the 8, combine like terms, and as soon as we try to get the k's on one side, they actually drop out. So what happens here is we end up getting 2 numbers that are not equal. Okay, whether you end up with 0 and 8 is one thing, or you end up with -24 and -32 is another. You get 2 numbers that are not the equal, so there's no solution. If you were to get the 2 numbers that are equal, so both sides of the equation are the same, then there would be an infinite number of solutions. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Not equal when the variable drops out, no solution. All right, moving on to the next page, I believe. Yep. Okay, we're talking about solving word problems algebraically. So remember, for this one, we're going to make a key, create an equation, solve it, and then make sure we label our solution. Plug back into the key to get your answer. So let's try number 13. Go ahead and read it, try it, and we'll come back to it in a second. And you should have ended up with the integers being 2 and 3. So once again, our key is x for the first integer, and x plus 1 is the next consecutive integer. So add 1 to get to the next number. So the sum of 2 consecutive integers, that's x plus 1 is, there's our equals, and 1 less than means that the -1 goes at the end. So 3 times the smaller is 3x, and then -1. So combine like terms, move over the 2x, add the 1 to get x equals 2. And if x is 2, then x plus 1 is 3. And it makes sense because 2 consecutive integers, when we add them, 2 plus 3 is 5. And 1 less than 3 times the smaller, 3 times 2 is 6, -1 is also 5. So there's our solutions to that. Go ahead and try the next one. We'll come back. And for number 14, we should end up with 8 inches in width and 29 inches in length. So to get there, W, once again, is the width. So 5 inches more than means the plus 5 goes at the end. 3 times the width, so 3W plus 5. The perimeter is at all sides. So either it's W plus the length plus length, or 2 times the width plus 2 times the length, which is what I chose to do here. We plug 74 in for the perimeter, and then it's 2W plus distribute, 6W plus 10. So this is 8W plus 10. Move the 10 over to get 64, and then divide by 8 to get 8. And when you plug 8 in to the length, 3 times 8 is 24, plus 5 is 29. So 8 and 29 are the length and the width. All right. Classifying polynomials. So when you look at a polynomial term, okay, the actual term is each of these combination of letters or numbers separated by plus or minus signs. So there's 1, 2, 3 terms here. That makes it a trinomial. The degree is the sum of the exponents and the variables of a term. Okay. So this is a third degree term, a first degree term, and this is a constant. It has its degree of 0. There technically is an x to the 0 attached. Remember, x to the 0 is just 1, so that's why it's 7. And we don't write x to the 0 because it's just kind of ridiculous to keep writing that over and over for any number. And the highest degree is the degree of all the terms in a single, okay, polynomial here. So the first term for a monomial, if we're classifying, would be like 0, or for a linear would be 1, quartic is 2, cubic is 3, okay? 2 terms is a binomial, 3 terms is a trinomial, 4 terms is just a 4-term polynomial. We don't have a special name for anything over 4, all right? And we always want to normally listing our polynomial in standard form, which means we go in descending order of terms here. So if we're looking at this one, the degree of the first term is 3, the degree of the second term here is 1, and the degree of the third term is 0. So the degree of the polynomial is whatever the highest degree is for the terms that are there. So this polynomial has a degree of 3, since 3 is the highest polynomial of all the terms. Okay, so when we look at the degree of the, we're going to take all the exponents for this specific term and add them together. Okay, so I don't want to get confused. Term is each separate component of the polynomial, each term. The degree of the term, we add together any exponents, and the degree of the polynomial is whatever the degree of the highest degree for whatever term there is. So if you have a 5th term, or like a 5th degree, a 4th degree, then we would say this is a 5th degree polynomial. It's the highest degree of all the terms separately. Okay, so look at the first one, 76. This is 2 terms. This is a binomial. And the highest degree we see is the 8x cubed, which is 3. So this is a 3rd degree, like black belt, right? Binomial. All right. Okay. We could also say it's a cubic. So instead of saying 3rd degree, we could say it's a cubic binomial. All right, remember we see 3, that's the degree, so we say cubic instead. Here we're going to list this in standard form, so negative 4x squared plus 7x minus 2. This is a trinomial. You can see the highest degree is the negative 4x squared. This is a quadratic, so we're going to say this is a quadratic trinomial, okay, your 2nd degree trinomial. All right. Quadratic trinomial. Okay, and if you wanted to say it's 2nd degree, go for it, instead of the word quadratic there. Okay, this is a monomial because there's no plus or minus signs. We're going to add together the exponents to get a 4th. Okay, so this is a 4th degree is considered to be a quartic. All right, so we would say that this is a quartic monomial. And if you wanted to use fourth degree instead of quartic, that's fine. Here for number 79, we have a 2-term, so it's a binomial. There isn't an exponent, but technically it's a 1, so this would be a first degree or a linear, okay, binomial. Binomial, all right? And that is it for this one, guys. So hopefully you guys learned a lot today, or at least brought back some memories from earlier in the year. Tomorrow we're picking up day 4 for Thursday, and then on Friday there's going to be a little quiz that we're going to do instead. I also have an update on some stuff with grading and the moving up from the algebra course into geometry. So I will be in touch with you guys in an email or a video or something about that. So let me know if you guys have any questions about the video or anything else, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, have a great week.